How far would you go to uncover the truth, even knowing it might turn your world to ash? Before we begin, let me ask you something. If a single thread could unravel your entire life, would you pull it knowing what you'd lose? Thanks for stopping by. If it's your first time here, don't forget to subscribe and share this story with someone who needs to hear it. Let me know in the comments where you're watching from. I always read them. Now, take a breath, because this story doesn't just sting, it burns. The phone vibrated against the smooth oak desk, its quiet hum cutting through the ticking silence of the room. Adrien barely glanced up from his laptop, his eyes raw from hours of chasing numbers and projections. Another notification, another distraction. He reached for the phone out of habit, expecting a reminder or a routine message. But what appeared stopped him mid-blink. No contact name, no thread history. Just one message: Redwood Tavern, back corner booth. Come now if you want the truth. No emojis, no links, nothing colorful or cryptic. Just a cold sentence, clear, deliberate. Something about its precision set off an alarm in him, low and unsettling. Not the panic of being pranked, something deeper, something ancient. The words dug in like claws. Come now if you want the truth. It wasn't a suggestion, it was a challenge, an invitation wrapped in a warning. Adrien's breath caught, and his gut twisted long before his mind caught up. Somewhere deep inside, he already knew this was about her. Elise had told him she'd be visiting her mother that evening. Just a quick stop, she said with that familiar breezy charm. Nothing had felt off. But now, Adrien stood slowly, as if waking inside a bad dream. He grabbed his keys and left without thinking, his pulse pounding against his ribs like a war drum. The city blurred past his windshield, wet reflections, smearing lights. He barely registered any of it. All he saw was her face. All he heard was that message: Redwood Tavern. They had history there. Birthdays, anniversaries, quiet laughter over candlelight, and stolen kisses after wine. Now the name sounded like a death knell. The moment he parked a block away, something shifted in his chest. It wasn't nerves, it was knowing. He walked in through the side entrance, the familiar scent of wood polish and beer hitting him like a ghost. His footsteps were measured, controlled. He moved along the shadowed wall, scanning the booths without letting his face betray him. And then he saw her, Elise. Her back to the wall, sitting in the farthest booth, surrounded by dim lamplight. She looked radiant, glowing even. Her hair fell just the way he loved it. But it was the man beside her that turned Adrien's stomach. Stranger, sharp jaw, tailored suit. Watch that glinted even in low light. The kind of man who didn't need to announce himself. Power clung to him like smoke. They were leaning in, close, laughing in a way Adrien hadn't heard from Elise in months. Her fingers brushed the man's hand, delicate, familiar. Then, as if to drive the knife deeper, she kissed him. Not a polite peck, not confusion. A kiss meant to linger. A kiss that told Adrien everything. His chest tightened, but his hands didn't tremble. He lifted his phone and took one picture. Just one. It was all he needed. Then he turned and walked away, unnoticed. Outside, the night air slapped his skin like cold water. His legs felt heavy, his breath sharp, his thoughts themselves a battlefield. He reached for his car door, but something pulled his gaze back. Inside the tavern, the man looked up. Their eyes met. There was no surprise in the man's face, no guilt, just ice. He leaned in, whispered something to Elise, and Adrien watched her freeze. Her smile fell from her lips. She searched the room in a panic, but she couldn't find him. Adrien was already fading. That message, it wasn't a slip, it wasn't a warning. It was bait. Adrien drove home in silence. When he stepped inside, the house looked untouched, plates set for two, her favorite candle still flickering in the center of the table, a domestic scene frozen in place. And yet, something in him had fractured for good. He sat down slowly and stared at their wedding photo. Their smiles were full and blind. The phone buzzed again. A message from Elise, clinical, heartless. I want a divorce. From here on, all communication will happen through attorneys only. No explanation, no apology, just a line drawn straight through their entire life. Adrien didn't respond. He didn't cry. He just sat there, hollow and still, as the truth settled around him like ash. By morning, he'd already retained a lawyer, a sharp, fearless woman named Miranda Chase. She didn't waste time with pity. "Give me everything," she said. Adrien handed her the photo, the message, the shared financial documents, everything he had. That same day, he began to shut the doors. Elise's credit cards were canceled. She was locked out of every joint account. Passwords changed. Not out of revenge, out of necessity. She had made her choice. Adrien was simply finishing the sentence. 2 days later, a letter arrived this time from Elise's attorney, a smug opportunist named Damon Pierce. The letter demanded Adrien resume full financial support, including luxury allowances. Miranda's reply cut like a blade. She attached Elise's own message, her declaration to sever contact, and outlined every financial change Adrien had made. Elise's team tried spinning it, painting her as abandoned, fragile, confused. Friends began calling. Unsure, family whispered in doorways. Adrien said nothing. Let them believe what they wanted. Meanwhile, Miranda kept digging, and what she found chilled Adrien to the bone. Elise had attempted to drain a dormant joint account, one Adrien had forgotten even existed. Tens of thousands gone, almost. Miranda stopped it just in time. This wasn't heartbreak. This was strategy. The divorce dragged on, bitter and cold. Elise's side told stories, blamed Adrien's distance. His focus on work said he pushed her into another man's arms. But Miranda was relentless. She presented Elise's message, her theft, the photo, the trap. The judge saw everything. Her tears, her lies, the betrayal. Then came the shadows, anonymous complaints. At Adrien's workplace, false claims whispered into boardrooms. Deals halted. Partners grew cautious. But Adrien didn't bend. He launched a full audit, cleaned house, cleared his name. Eventually, even those attacks stopped. But by then, Adrien had already seen the final piece of the puzzle. It was Elise. She wasn't just trying to leave. She wanted to ruin him. In the final court hearing, Elise wept openly, accusing Adrien of emotional abandonment. Miranda remained steady. She read Elise's message aloud. She recited the bank records, the betrayal, the smear campaign. The judge leaned forward, face expressionless. Then came the ruling. Elise's current struggles, he said, were the direct result of her own actions. Adrien retained his business untouched. Elise was sanctioned for concealing property she'd secretly purchased. Her alimony slashed to survival levels. The illusion shattered. She walked out of that courtroom alone, disgraced. Rumors swirled. Weeks later, a man approached Adrien at a downtown bar, an old acquaintance, over drinks. He shared everything. The man Elise had kissed, his name was Marcus Weller, a ruthless financial fixer. His specialty? Seducing the wives and girlfriends of high-value clients. He had sent the message. He wanted Adrien to see them, to force the collapse. He thought Adrien would walk away from everything. He thought Elise would gain everything. He was wrong. Adrien's business stood, his finances locked. Elise walked away empty-handed. When the truth hit Marcus, he disappeared, cut all contact, left her behind like a used tactic. Adrien didn't smile. He didn't celebrate. He just walked forward, quieter, clearer, changed. The man who once believed in forever had become something else, wiser, sharper, steel wrapped in stillness, because, in the end, he hadn't lost everything. He had only lost the illusion, and sometimes, that's the most painful truth of all.